we live in a generation of skinny jeans, long hair, dark rooms, PlayStations. You've got to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations, and then it's not new to you then. It's definitely a bad decision, and I'm actually like pretty disgusted, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, play your PlayStation, but get some fresh air, go and do some exercise. There's a lot of surprised people because, from all the talk on the build-up to the fight, I thought he was ready to go in there and he'd go through hell to get that victory, and he just simply wasn't prepared to do that. I thought he was tougher. I thought he'd go through hell. Do you know what I mean? The way he's talking, he's up against it, but he's going to go down fighting. And I'm not saying he didn't go down fighting because he had a good go, but when it really comes to gritting your teeth and biting on your gum shield, I thought he would have done a bit more personally. I watch a lot of Early Falls and Horses. I'm a big Early Falls and Horses geek. I suppose that's something you can say.
Brilliant. People say I look like Rodney, to be fair, so you can't say that.
We can go with that.
So we're here, big boxing energy with Frazer Clarke, the Eraser, age 29, born Burton, West Midlands. Frazer, how are you?
Yeah, I'm wicked, guys. I'm out in San Diego at the minute in the States. So we're in different time zones. Appreciate you giving me a call at this time of night. Appreciate it.
That is not a problem at all. It's a pleasure having you on the show. So just tell me, what are you doing in America at the moment?
So, this year's been so up and down, and we haven't had no competition, and there's restrictions everywhere you go. We tried to go to Turkey, and there's a lot of restrictions there before we went over there, and there's a lot of restrictions, like I say. So we come to America. It's probably the closest thing to competition we can get at the minute, training with the Americans. So, we've come out here, we do some training, we have some sort of gym bats, which, is close, like I say, it's closer thing to a actual competition we can get for the minute. So we're just out here, before Christmas, trying to get some good work in. And we're going to the new year, looking forward to the Olympic qualifier.
Absolutely. And your original plan was obviously to compete in the Olympics and then turn pro afterwards. But with the current situation of COVID, that's obviously been postponed until next year. But how has that affected your plans, Frazer?
It definitely did affect him. Like I say, I was hoping to be on the pro circuit by now, with Olympic medalist. So it did have a bit of an effect, but you just crack on and carry on. And I've done that, and I'm feeling good, and I've had another year to get better and get more prepared. So it's been all right, to be fair. It's, like I say, it's not been. It's hard. It's hard for everyone at the minute, isn't it? So just get on with it.
Absolutely, but it's still not been stopping you from watching your football. I saw a tweet the other day where you said about Everton Leeds game, Spanish commentators being very noisy. But are you a big football fan, Frazer?
Oh yeah, massive. Football's, if I had the talent, I would have been a footballer. Believe me.
What team do you support?
Burton Albion, that's my home team. Other than that, I'm a Manchester United fan. So don't shoot me, everyone.
No comments over here. Manchester United, a quality side as well, mate. That's awesome. Okay, and just going back to turning professional, there's obvious difference to what you're currently doing, i.e. things like head guards and such. But how do you think it will be different for you?
Well, I'm experienced and I've been around a long time. I've been around the world. I've been in the ring with a lot of quality fighters, and I've been surrounded by a lot of good fighters for many years now. And I've picked up good habits and I've learnt a lot. I don't just stand around watching these people. I'm a bit of a sponge, and a bit of a gym rat in the sense of I'll stick around and I'll watch other people train, watch their habits. The amateur game has turned over the last 5-6 years since since London. It's a different game now. Do you know what I mean? It's very rough. Can't just be a good boxer now. You've got to be rough, tough, and ready to fight. So I think I'll adapt quite well. Like I say, with my age, I'm a mature man now. I understand it's a completely different game, and I need to learn a new set of skills. But I think my experience in amateurs, will stand me in good stead.
For sure. I mean, you've had 57 fights, 38 wins, I think, which is quality stats as well.
I've had a lot more than that. That's just the ones they get on the internet. I think I've had over probably near enough to 150 fights now. Do you know what I mean? And like probably 100 of them have been for representing my country. So I'm well experienced.
Absolutely, Commonwealth gold medalist over here. Absolutely quality. And just going over to you specifically, Frazer, what do you like to do in your spare time?
I'm a family man. Me, I've got a lovely daughter. Mila, she's 4 in a couple of weeks. I'm going to miss it, unfortunately, for being in America training, but that's part of the game. My partner Danny, we're expecting a little one, so You know,
Wow.
I like to spend a lot of time. Spend a lot of time with the family. You know, have a laugh with the lads, watch the football, go to the pub. Not normal geezer, really. I'm from Burton-on-Trent. You know, it's the home of Carlin, the home of beer. So you know, I'm just a normal lad. After but I'm a pub lad. Goes to the pub, sees my family, sees my friends, and that's it, really.
So with specific hobbies, apart from obviously the pub and family, is there anything else that you like to do in your spare time? We're too busy with the boxing.
No, but boxing takes up that much of your life.
I can imagine.
To be honest, yeah. I mean, I watch a lot of Only Fools and Horses. I'm a big Only Fools and Horses geek. I suppose that's something you could say.
Brilliant. People say I look like Rodney, to be fair, so you can't say that.
we can go with that.
So someone you fought twice at amateur level was Joyce, the famous York Hall, who not many predicted would beat Dubois on the weekend. Did you expect Joe to win?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Okay. And how did you watch the fight?
We all watched it, right? You know, we were searching up until about 10 minutes before. We were searching for a good Wi-Fi so we could get one of the links to get the boxing in. I brought a HDMI cable with me with the little extension for the phone, so I managed to plug it into the TV. So we had like 6 of the boxers around the TV watching it, but it was touch and go because you know how it is watching things on a live stream. It can start, but it was all right, to be fair.
Okay, and would you take on Joyce personally again in your professional career?
Yeah, of course I would. That's as an athlete and as a competitor, that's what I thrive for. It's what I live for. So hopefully one day that fight will happen again because anyone that's ever seen me and Joe get in the ring together, it's fireworks. Some people just gel, and me and him, it's always exciting. But he's a hell of a fighter. So I'm gonna have to, like I say, get the experience in the pros and prepare well, to get to that level.
Absolutely, but so are you, Frazer. You're a quality fighter, and you tweeted on the 21st of November, "I can't wait to turn pro. I will eat these guys for breakfast at Sky Sports Boxing. The time is almost here." Now, come on now, Frazer. Tell me who that was aimed at.
Well, I was watching I was actually at home watching the boxing, and there's a lot of heavyweights on there. Taking. They get a lot of good chat, and they get paid big. They get paid good money and big money, and there's a lot of talk about them. And I know I will be at that level before long. So. Not that it frustrates me, I just I feel like as amateurs get forgot about sometimes, you know what I mean? So I like to just put it out there and let people know that I am coming. Don't get me wrong, I've got respect for every single one of them fighters, but I know what level I'm going to be competing at, and I know that, there's a lot of these guys that aren't going to live with me.
Just going back to the Joe v. Daniel fight on the weekend, there's been a lot of talk about Daniel being a quitter. What were your thoughts around this label?
It's a difficult one, It's a difficult one because, to get in that ring and that it takes a lot of man and takes a lot of balls to get in there. Do you know what I mean? But what can you say, really? What can't speak, can't lie. You only have to watch it, and I'm sure there's a lot of surprised people because from all the talk on the build up to the fight, I thought he was ready to go in there and he'd go through hell to get that victory, and he just simply wasn't prepared to do that. Don't get me wrong, I know he would have been in pain. I've heard about the injury since the fight. It's a bad injury and stuff, but you're either one of two people. You go through that. Some people go through hell to get to that next level. I know. I certainly would have. I mean, if I was knocked out cold, I could have got pulled out of the ring. But other than that, I'd like to think, I know myself. I know that literally I'd fight in there until I was told that I couldn't fight otherwise. And I just thought, maybe even he would have, if he took the count and got up a bit early, maybe had one last hurrah or a good burst in him, or wait till the next round, try and get Joe out of there. He would have done it, like that way. But it was just a bit of a weird ending. I think it showed his age, his youth, and the fact that, he's not been in deep water before.
You could see the damage in his eye, then you can only imagine what was going through his head in that moment when he dropped down. But
it's a real difficult one because I don't like to use the word quitter, but like I say, you can't really butter it up any other way. But until you're put in that position, and the thing is, 99% of the population will never be in that position, so you can't really answer how you'd react. You know what I mean? It's all right for the people, the armchair people, to say, "Oh, he's quit, he's done this and done that," but in that moment, I don't know what was going through his head. So, he's made that decision. I'm sure, he had a lot on his shoulder, a lot like of weight on his shoulders and stuff. But I thought he was tougher. I thought he'd go through hell. Do you know what I mean? The way he was talking, I thought, right, this guy, he's up against it, but he's going to go down fighting. And I'm not saying he didn't go down fighting because he had a good go, but when it really comes to gritting your teeth and biting on your gum shield, I thought he would have done a bit more personally.
No, for sure. Okay. And Carl Frampton was quite damning on his post-fight analysis. From a fighter's perspective, how do you think that will affect him mentally?
It's a difficult one, you see, because Dan's still young. I definitely think this fight will make him improve. Make him better.
Yeah.
You know where you need to be now. It's definitely a character building thing. But at the same time, it could have a different effect on him. It just depends on the individual. I hope, for the sake of the future, because he's a big part of British boxing's heavyweight future. I hope it makes him a better fighter and stuff. But people that know Daniel, he's got a bit of a past of being a bit nervy before fights, let's say.
Okay.
And I think his heart was questioned before the fight. His heart was questioned, a few times in the amateurs. So I think it might be a recurring theme, but I think, as you get more older, more mature, maybe it changes. But at the same time, maybe it's one of them things that you've either got inside you or you haven't got it. You can have so many attributes. There's so many attributes to being a boxer. There's fitness, there's skill, there's will, desire. And if you take one of them out, you don't have a complete fighter. And that's difficult.
For sure. Okay, wow. If you put yourself in his position, his shoes there, as a fighter yourself, how do you think you would have handled it differently during the fight? What would you have done to avoid that build-up?
I would have used my experience for sure. Like, I probably would have. I'm not sure how long was left in that round, but if he was in pain, I would have definitely, either tied Joe up or slowed that fight right down. Maybe used my feet a bit more. Definitely done whatever I could to nick a break. And if it was hurting that bad, I would give myself one last hurrah. I would have gone back to the corner, really, really sucked it up and gone out on my shield and, try and take him out before taking that knee, definitely, if that was me. But I think there was different ways, you could just tell it was new to him. It was all new to him. You've got to know how to handle them situations in them fights. You got to do the work in the gym, the sparring. You got to go and have tough sparring. You got to have spars where you're up against, people that are better than you, or people that are trying to, really take your head off. And you've got to have fresh people come into your sparring in round 7 to 12, and 2 different opponents that are on it and sharp and really pounding on you. So you know how to be, you've got to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations, and then it's not new to you then. But I think that's definitely an experience thing. He's still not a novice because he's got on a big stage, but inexperienced in hindsight.
Absolutely. And slightly changed the conversation. It all starts from grassroots with boxing, and there's been various press recently about the lack of funding for boxing. And obviously you saw that, horse racing got, for example, 40 million for grant, and obviously with boxing there's nothing. So what are your thoughts around this essentially?
Yeah, the thing is horse racing is betting, it's generating money. They're going to give it all that money, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? So they're going to give it that funding, but they talk about mental health and the state of the youth in this country and everything. Amateur boxing saves lives, so and it puts people on the right path. So I think they're definitely, it's a bit disgusting, to be honest, that they've not given us no money. But like I say, it sort of molds people's futures and stuff. Turns naughty little kids with no hope into world champions and and grown good men. So I think it's definitely a bad decision, and I'm actually like pretty disgusted, to be honest.
To follow on from that, talking on a personal note for myself, I don't like to say I was a trouble kid. I had a very nice childhood upbringing, but when I was 15, 16, there were some rough points in my life where I might have made the wrong decision, and I took up mixed martial arts as just a side hobby. And that, honestly, Frazer, did wonders for my mental health personally. It gave me structure, it gave me routine, and it gave me confidence to actually be able to have a conversation with people without thinking it's all negative towards me, So you've hit the nail on the head there, spot on. And what can you say to people to promote them getting involved with the local gym?
I just think, at the minute, I think we live in a generation of, I use this term, and might not be the right. We live in a generation of skinny jeans, long hair, dark rooms, PlayStations. Not that if skinny jeans is what you wear, it's what you wear. It's just the terminology that I use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's no good for anyone. These gamers, don't get me wrong, play your PlayStation, but get some fresh air. Go do some exercise. You won't believe how much wonders it does for you. I always say to anyone, anytime you're feeling down, first thing I do is exercise. Everyone's different. If I'm feeling down, I need to get a punch bag or I need to do a run. Just let us out them endorphins, and I feel a lot better. So, I think my advice to people is try new things. Whether you're good at it or you're not, at least you've tried. There's always a positive.
Just take yourself out of the comfort zone and give it a try.
Exactly.
Sure.
Exactly. Challenge yourself.
Absolutely. And to finish on a kind of a positive, Christmassy sort of question, what's your favourite Disney film? Put you on the spot here now, haven't I?
Yeah, I've got so many. I watch a lot of Disney. I've got a young daughter. I'm a bit of a big kid myself. I would say between when I was young, I think the Jungle Book was massive for me.
Yep.
Bare necessities.
Quality.
But I'd probably go all in all the Lion King. To be honest, I could probably talk you through the Lion King word for word.
Good shout. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm a big kid. Like I said, I like all Disney films. Like I said, I've got a young daughter. That's one of our best hobbies. We spend hours watching Disney. So, from Cinderella to Lion King to everything else.
It's a passion.
Passion, mate. Love it.
So that's all we've got time for. Big boxing energy. And Frazer, thank you so much for your time today. And best of luck in the future for all of us here.
Appreciate you guys. You take care and I'll see you soon, yeah?
Thank you so much.
No worries. Take care.